Chances are you've used our current library of manufacturer's luminaire photometry we call the Instabase. There are currently 107 unique and current product databases available. These databases currently reside on our web server, and manufacturers can make changes and upload new data anytime, 24/7. End users can select and download an Instabase anytime from the library. Once downloaded, it shows up in the drop-down menu on your system. While this is an excellent source of product data and has served both users and suppliers well for years, it does have some limitations. Most drawbacks are due to the fact that each Instabase is downloaded and now lives on the end user's system indefinitely. This presents a few issues. First, users may not be using the latest data available. Others in the organization may be using a different version of that data. The manufacturer may update the Instabase, but end users do not retrieve those changes. They don't download the updates. End users need to subscribe to be notified of the updates. And there is no way for end users to know what data has changed in an update. In short, there is a disconnect between the manufacturer and the end user in terms of confidence that the most current product data is being employed. We'll bring on the new Instabase in the cloud. Now, each manufacturer's Instabase is live in the cloud. There's no longer a need to download the complete database to the local drive. Instead, you can browse and query across multiple manufacturers and select only the files you want to be downloaded for immediate use. Using the new cloud-based system, all end users are always browsing the latest product data provided by the manufacturer. When the manufacturer decides to change the data composition, end users have access to these changes immediately. No need for subscriptions, no large local databases, it's all live in the cloud. With the Instabase in the cloud, we have data integrity, as everyone is using the latest data. Data uniformity, everyone is using the same data. No updating is required for end users. You always have access to the current data. Search across multiple suppliers. Save and share your search parameters. Save favorites. Pull down multiple files at once to AGI32. It's a beautiful thing. Let's take a quick tour to see how it works. From within AGI32's Define dialog, select the new Instabase in the Cloud icon. The cloud takes a second to spin up. We're now ready to select the manufacturers we're currently interested in browsing. Unlike the old system where the manufacturers are added to your list on the local drive and downloaded, here in the cloud you're simply selecting a place to look for the current task at hand. You can change the manufacturer's list anytime. So here's the same 107 databases that are in the current old system, already seeded to the cloud. So let's imagine I'm looking for a parking garage luminaire. So we're going to query across some manufacturers, but let's start by selecting some manufacturers that might likely produce that type of product. So let's see, I'll select Lithonia, and then I'll open up Cooper, select McGraw, and let's keep scrolling down. Let's grab General Electric, and maybe let's open up Hubble and grab Kim. And I'm just doing this off the cuff here, so no offense to the folks I'm not selecting. Let's see, LSI. Gosh, I don't know. That could be an indoor or LED or outdoor, I guess. Who else? How about the RAB folks? RAB LED products. That's a good start. So again, we can change this list anytime, real easily. So Instabase in the cloud will now load all those manufacturers up for us to browse. If I want to change the manufacturers that I'm actually browsing, all I have to do is go back up here and hit the Select Manufacturers button and clear them out or add. So you can see here's the manufacturers that we selected all across the top here. We've got 35,317 photometric files to browse from. So you can actually open the nodes and browse around if you like, but that's sort of a useless process with 35,000 photometric files. So the best way to tackle this, of course, is to use a search. So let's select a source type of LED. Let's put our wattage bracket in there from 90 to 100 watts. And we have a number of other things that we could actually add to the query. Outdoor luminaires, for example, you can query by bug rating, which is very cool, or roadway classification, and so on. But for this particular search, I'm going to do something a little unique. I'm going to look at the luminaire keyword in the IES file for the word garage. So anything that has the word garage in the luminaire keyword in the IES file would show up in our query, provided it has an LED source type and the wattage is between 90 and 100. So that's pretty good. So let's go ahead and run the search query. Wow, I turn up 17 photometric files. So I was able to effectively limit the number of IES files that I'm looking at from 35,000 to 17. Here we can look at the IES files we've selected. So under GE, looks like I found a couple of possibilities. And anytime you want to see a little bit more, you can click on the Details tab. And here we can see the calculated information as well as the contents of the entire IES file. Polar plot, photograph, etc. We have the ability to compress the view out of the tree view, where we don't see everything, right into what we call a list view. Here's the list of the 17 IES files we've selected. Now, this isn't going to tell us where they fall in the manufacturer's tree, so we might not want to do that right up front. So let's go back to the tree view. So here in the brackets we can see, well, from Cooper, the McGraw database, we didn't find anything. GE, we found 2, and it trees down to those selections. Scrolling down, we didn't find anything in the Kim database. Lithonia, we actually got 15, all under parking garage, so that's pretty good. Keep scrolling down, and I'm going to scroll the whole window here because making the video I actually don't have as much space as I normally would on my screen. So LSI Industries, I didn't pick up any files, and Rab Lighting, I didn't find any files. So all my files here are from General Electric and Acuity Brands. So let's go ahead and take a couple that we might be interested in. Let's pull these 2 GE files. Notice those are U3 bug rating, so I know they have a little bit of uplight. Interesting, you can sort of see that in the polar plot there. And let's come down into the Lithonia product, looking for similar sort of distribution. I'm going to grab that one there. And I happen to notice in the Lithonia product lots of distributions, but I also see that the lumen packages can be quite a bit different based on the wattage being the same. So I'm suspecting that we have some different color temperature products. So I'm going to go ahead and select that one. Now, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add these to a favorite. If I just clicked Add to Favorites here, I would put them in just a list of favorites. But rather than do that, let's create a favorite list, and let's call it Garage LED 90 to 100 watt. And let's go ahead and save that favorites list. So now, up at the Favorites tab, here we've got the products that we selected. These are available to us anytime. We don't actually have to go query for these anymore. So they're actually saved as a favorite. And then you can create as many favorites as you like. So that's pretty handy. Let's come down in here, and you can actually save your search queries as well. So you could save your particular search parameters. Notice it puts a date in there, so if you don't want to give it a name, you don't have to. But I'm going to call this, Garage LED 92 100 watt. Same thing. So we'll save our search parameters. This is handy because we can come back and run this query without setting everything up on a different list of manufacturers at any time by just selecting it from the list, and it'll automatically run. So that's pretty slick. So what we've done by putting the text garage in the Luminaire keyword is a little bit specialized, and certainly it may limit our search a bit because there were several manufacturers that didn't show product in this list. Kim Lighting, for example, we know they make parking garage luminaires that are LED from 90 to 100 watt. But it is a trick to narrow the search, and we got exactly what we were looking for, from 35,000 luminaires down to 17. So future plans include the suggestion of verbiage that a manufacturer could use to classify a product by application, in which case we'll have some additional searches in here. So that'll be very nice, and we're working on that right now. So watch for the future. So let's take our luminaires that we selected. Got 0 selected because I added them to my favorites list, so I'm going to come back and let's select a couple of others. Or we could just go to favorites and select the ones we wanted there. But I'm going to illustrate here selecting them from the list. And now we'll scroll down, and we can bring all these files down to AGI32 at one time. We'll click the download button, and smart symbols will pop up. They're all ceiling surface mounted, so we can just click OK right through, and we'll have all 4 luminaires there in AGI32. Using the Instabase in the cloud will help you search across manufacturers' products easily and effectively, and hopefully save you a little bit of time in the process. At the current time, when a participating manufacturer compiles their Instabase using the latest version of the compiler, which is version 15 available at agi32.com, the data is automatically seeded to both the new cloud Instabase and the old system. We are working on an expanded interface whereby a manufacturer could maintain their Instabase from within the cloud, thereby avoiding the compile process altogether. Stay tuned for more of Life in the Cloud.